Okay, let's dive right into this. You know that absolute heartbreak, right? You're checking your analytics, you see this massive wave of traffic hitting your online store, and then just crickets. The initial conversions are tiny. People are browsing, they're clicking around, but they just aren't buying. And honestly, it is incredibly frustrating, especially when you think about the sheer amount of ad spend it took just to get them there in the first place. But here's the thing. The data actually shows they aren't rejecting your products. They just aren't ready to buy yet. So today, in this explainer, we're unpacking exactly how top e-commerce businesses are fixing this exact pain point. We're going to explore how they close sales from warm leads using retargeting funnels.
So why do interested shoppers just leave? Honestly, it's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? You spend an absolute fortune acquiring traffic. You get them onto your site. They look around, maybe they even drop an item into their cart, and then poof, they vanish. The sheer amount of revenue lost to cart abandonment is staggering. But the reality of consumer psychology is that not every single visitor is going to buy immediately. Distractions happen, hesitation sets in, maybe they want to check their bank balance, or hey, maybe they just got distracted by a cat video and looked away from their screen. This is exactly where most businesses just throw in the towel and assume the lead is dead. But as we'll see, an abandoned cart absolutely isn't a dead end. It's actually a massive opportunity, assuming you know how to capture it. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer to see how all of this comes together. First up, we'll map out the warm lead journey. Second, we'll dissect the anatomy of retargeting funnels. Third, we're going to look at the specific types of retargeting ads you need in your toolkit. Fourth, we'll unlock the power of audience personalization. And finally, number 5, we'll wrap things up with measuring your funnel success so you can track that bottom line financial impact. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the warm lead journey, defining purchase intent. Before we can build an effective funnel, we've got to identify our target, the real hero of our customer journey here, the warm lead. Simply put, this is a user who has already raised their hand. They've actively demonstrated purchase intent, whether that's by viewing your products, adding stuff to a cart, clicking on your promo ads, or maybe even initiating checkout right before bouncing. The thing to remember is these users are not lost causes. Actually, they're your prime opportunities. They've already handed over valuable behavioral data. So the major mindset shift we need here is to stop treating them like strangers. We already have a baseline relationship with them, right? Our strategy now is to build on that foundation rather than starting all over from square one. Moving on to section 2, anatomy of retargeting funnels, the stages of re-engagement. Okay, so this is the structural breakdown of how we actively guide that warm lead back to the checkout page instead of, forcing them to restart their journey from scratch. It's a step-by-step psychological process designed to reverse what we call decision decay. Step 1 is awareness recovery, basically restoring your product's visibility across the web. Step 2 is repeated engagement, which just means increasing their familiarity with your brand. Then we have step 3, trust validation, which flows right into step 4, consideration. This is where we actively reduce their hesitation by highlighting things like product values, shipping details, or maybe payment flexibility. And finally, step 5, conversion. This is that calculated, structured push where we introduce just a little bit of urgency to get them over the finish line. So, the crucial point is this. Most users simply do not purchase during their first visit. I know it sounds incredibly obvious, but it fundamentally shifts how we really should be allocating our marketing budget. Retargeting funnels basically maintain engagement after the user has left your store. Repeated exposure strengthens their recall of the product, and it reinforces buyer confidence. Think about it. Instead of pouring all your money into acquiring expensive, brand new traffic, you're strategically focusing your resources on audiences who have already shown real intent. You're efficiently guiding them back when they are, finally, ready to buy. Next up, section 3, types of retargeting ads. These are your tools for the trade. All right, this is the specific arsenal you need to deploy across websites, social feeds, and inboxes to make this whole system work seamlessly. Now, high-performing funnels don't just hammer a user with the exact same ad 50 times. Please don't do that. That's just how you annoy people. Instead, they dynamically combine multiple formats. For instance, dynamic product ads automatically show the exact products the user was just looking at. Abandoned cart banners directly remind them about incomplete purchases. Social proof ads leverage customer ratings and testimonials to build some serious trust during that evaluation stage. Discount reminders introduce a price-based motivation, like, 10% off ends tonight. Email retargeting delivers structured follow-ups right to their inbox, and checkout recovery messages, those specifically target the folks who bailed at the very last second, right at the payment stage. The magic happens when you mix these formats, so every single message perfectly matches where the user is in their buying journey. Let's look at section 4, the power of audience personalization. segmentation, and relevance.
You see, because not all warm leads are identical, segmenting them is what prevents you from bombarding them with totally irrelevant ads. Imagine two different shoppers for a second. Customer A is browsing winter jackets on your site, while customer B is checking out electronics. If you hit both of them with the exact same generic brand ad, you are basically just setting your budget on fire. And this brilliantly illustrates why segmentation is key. With proper segmentation, customer A starts seeing personalized outerwear ads wherever they go, keeping that context consistent. Meanwhile, customer B gets relevant accessories and reminders for the exact electronics they were just looking at. It's behavior dictating the ad experience. It makes your marketing feel helpful and super relevant, rather than, creepy or intrusive.
But hey, personalization isn't just about what product you're showing, it is heavily about the timing and the core message itself. High-intent users, like someone who ditched their cart at the payment page, they need immediate direct reminders. They need a stronger conversion incentive, maybe a low stock alert or a fast action discount. On the flip side, a first-time visitor who just poked around a product page for a minute. They need a much softer touch. They should be getting trust-building reassurance, stuff like customer reviews and delivery guarantees. When you match the message to their exact stage of intent, you massively strengthen trust and keep that purchase consideration actively alive. All right, let's bring it home with Section 5, Measuring Your Funnel's Success, the Analytics Dashboard. Okay, so this is how you actually prove to your executive team the bottom-of-funnel financial impact these strategies are having. A professional analytics dashboard breaks down exactly what you need to track. First, conversion rate. This evaluates the volume of completed purchases coming specifically from your retargeted users. Then there's click-through rate, which tells you if your advertising is relevant and engaging. Because honestly, if no one is clicking, your messaging is totally misaligned with their intent. Next, cost per acquisition. Shows you the efficiency of targeting these already interested audiences. Since they're warm leads, this cost should be significantly lower than your cold traffic CPA. And finally, attributed revenue. This connects your ad exposure directly to actual bottom-line commercial outcomes. Having this data empowers you to consistently evaluate and refine your strategy based on hard, undeniable evidence. Now let's talk about timing, because the data points to one absolutely crucial number: 24. Top e-commerce businesses do not wait around. They send email retargeting checkout reminders within 24 hours after a cart is abandoned. Why? Because you've got to maintain that purchase urgency. If you wait, say, 3 days, the customer has probably already bought from a competitor, or they just lost the impulse entirely. Striking within that first 24-hour window is a massive, proven driver for successfully recovering those incomplete transactions. It's a real game changer. Ultimately, this whole explainer really comes down to efficiency. Bottom of funnel, or BOFU marketing, focuses your precious advertising budget on audiences who have an established purchase intent, rather than just throwing money at broad, untargeted pools of traffic. And why does this matter so much? Because allocating your budget toward high-intent audiences is just vastly more efficient and scalable. You're drastically reducing the need for expensive educational advertising, and instead, you're focusing directly on recovering those abandoned opportunities to drive consistent, predictable sales growth. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider. Are you treating abandoned carts as lost opportunities or as the very beginning of a highly profitable retargeting funnel? Remember, abandoned does not mean lost. With the right behavioral tracking, personalization, and conversion-focused messaging in place, you can literally transform previous interest into renewed engagement and capture those high-intent transactions. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you to look at your analytics today and see just how many warm leads are out there waiting for you to strategically invite them back.